Shalom.
Shalom.
Brothers here from Great Millstone, Atlanta. We want to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Rakakwadash.
Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to all the Akim out there pushing the word, sincerity, and the truth. Yes, Wednesday? Thursday. Thursday, kept prophesying the word of Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai. We're going to get straight into these prophecies. End time prophecies, and we're living in the end times. There's no more, I'll say for lack of a better term, better thing but to get into with these prophecies, man. Get into these worldwide events, seeing what's going on current news, watching what this devil, the current POTUS, has coming down the pipeline, watching what your local mayors and governors type of, things that they have ramping up, watching what's going on a global scale. That's why you got to get into it. Apostle always went into this years ago, get into basically global economics, get into seeing what's going on in Africa, seeing what's going on in the Asiatic lands, the European lands, world news, all right? America, and when I say America, North, Central, and South, man. You can't just be in the house and just be like a bump on a log. Hell, you got to see what's going on in your city. Listening to the local news, seeing what's popping up on a worldwide scale, because there's a lot of things that's going on pertaining to the prophecy of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. The Lord's word is going out, man, and you're seeing things taking place in the physical, man. All right, you got that in Revelation 19?
Revelation 19:10, it says, "And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou..."
John fell at the feet of the angel, and he said he fell at the feet to worship him.
And he said unto me, see thou do it not.
See thou do it not.
I am thy fellow servant.
I am thy fellow servant. Basically, on the spirit thing, he's saying we're working together in this thing. All right?
And of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai.
And of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. All right, keep going.
It says, worship the Most High.
Worship the Most High.
For the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy.
Right, so the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. So where is the testimony of Yahweh Shai written? Now you have Yahweh Shai that's written his first, quote unquote appearance, in the as Yahweh Shai was in the book of Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, but he comes in the volume of the book that's written in Psalms 40 and 7. Can you get that, Baba Shai? So when you get into the testimony of Yahweh Shai and really get into the spirit of prophecy, you got to go all throughout the course of the book. Right. Getting into Matthew the 24th chapter, Luke the 21st chapter, Jeremiah the 50th chapter, or is that Isaiah where it speaks about Babylon, Isaiah the 50th chapter, Isaiah the 51st chapter, Second Ezra the 15th chapter, Second Ezra the 6th chapter, Second Ezra the 8th chapter, the whole Second Ezra, really. You get into all those breakdowns, certain prophecies in Ezekiel, dealing with the nature, Ezekiel the 37th chapter, dealing with the Valley of Dry Bones, the 38th chapter, dealing with Gog and Magog. You got to get into those prophecies, man. And then see what's going on a worldwide scale. Because what, Biden just linked up, if I'm not mistaken, he just linked up with the Russian president, Vladimir Putin. So they're having their talks, and you've already seen this controversy. That's already written up in the prophecy, of these different nations having wars and rumors of wars, man. All right, skirmishes, having a social divide is written in Matthew the 12th chapter, the 25th verse, that Satan's house divided against himself shall not stand. All right, so knowing these prophecies and watching you know exactly what the time is. We're in the time of it. You got that?
Psalm 40 and 7. This said, I, lo, I come in the volume of the book, and it's written of me.
Right, so a volume is the measurement. So Yahweh Shai, or who is the Psalm of David?
Psalm of David.
But it's pertaining to Yahweh Shai. Because if I'm not mistaken, there's Luke 24 and 44, which speaks about the laws, the prophets concerning me. If I'm not mistaken, it might be Luke 24 and 44. So even though David wrote that, that's really going into the spirit of Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai the volume of the book is pertaining unto them. Isn't that it?
Okay.
Where it speaks about the laws. For brother to look it up also, that'll be something. That's it.
Yeah. Luke 24:44. And he said unto them, these are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you.
And that's in the blood letters. That's Yahweh Shah speaking himself. You go.
While I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled.
That all things must be fulfilled. What has to be fulfilled? The prophecy. All right? And that's why Apostle Hari did a lesson earlier today, how we're prognosticators, man.
Right.
Look up prognosticator about the shot. Because we prognosticate this information unto the people.
I got it.
All right? Oh, you got it? Okay. That's a spirit.
All right. This is prognosticator. It says, a person foretells or foresees, a person foretells or prophesies a future event.
Right. So you have left-hand side prognosticators written, for example, in the book of Isaiah 47th chapter, where you have witches and warlocks, and they would need a medium. They would need some type of item to channel their spirits and get certain reactions from the spirit world and understand what's to happen in the future. You know, whether they would get a crystal ball, or whether they would use a Ouija board, or whether they, certain talismans and things of that nature. You know, that's how they would tap into the so-called future. They would tap into certain events. All right. But what do we tap into on the right-hand side? We tap into the words of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, the direct link. All right, because the prophets received the vision. All right, that's written. It speaks about the vision. All right, so they would get the vision. We'll go back to Luke 24. Then we'll get yours. They would get the vision, and they would subscribe it or inscribe it within the book. All right, for men of latter times, which the prophets being subject unto the prophets now, to read, understand, and bring it right back out. All right? So just like Apostle always speaks about, really our understanding to a certain level, I'll just say this, complements the ancient prophets, because they didn't fully have the full understanding back then of the prophecies that they were looking into. When Daniel was looking at that, was seeing some of those prophecies, and John was seeing those prophecies, and Ezra was seeing those prophecies, they were jacked up. And they can only explain it so much. But us brothers in the spirit of power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, thousands of years fast forward to today, we see these things clearly. That's why we can tell you the beast. We could break down the beast too. We could break down Babylon the Great too. We could break down the MOB. We could break down Revelation 13. We could break down the volume of the book though. Because if you're in the spirit of Yahweh Shah, you got to be in the spirit of the volume of the book. You see? You got that? Matter of fact, still some on that?
Yeah. 24. It says, which were written in the law of Moses and in the prophets and in the Psalms concerning me.
Right. So in order to really get concerned with Yahweh Shah and get concerned with Yahweh Shah's prophecy, you got to go to the law of Moses. What was the other one? The Psalms.
It said, the Psalms.
The Psalms, which we just read, that in Psalm 40 and 7.
And the prophets.
And in the prophets. All right, so what's that? The Torah. You have the Torah. You have the Tanakh. Which basically encapsulates the whole Old Testament on top of the New Testament, because there's plenty of prophecies in there too. The prophecies that that Yahweh Shah was going through, you see that John later on started to add to the prophecies. That's why the Lord preserved John on the island of Patmos, and he started putting a lot of prophecies in his understanding when that angel came to John. All right? You said you had something you wanted to bring out?
Yeah, this is Amos 3 and 7. Surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
Right, so the Lord said he would do nothing but revealing his secrets to the servants, his prophets. The Lord values prophecy above all, so to speak, man. He's bound by his word. His word is prophecy. All right, and without prophecy, a lot of people would look at this word as null and void. But we understand, and it's even written, before things spring up, I tell you of it. That's what makes this word come in power. It tells you that in the book of, if I'm not mistaken, I think Amos, how the word wasn't just written, but it's basically written with power, man. You see? How is power being pushed out through this book? Through prophecy. through saying things that happen, that's gonna happen in the near future, you know, written thousands of years ago. And you can't go through the Kebra Nagast, you can't go to the Egyptian books of the dead, you can't go to the Quran, you can't go into any of these Buddhist temples and go to these Buddhist priests, bald-headed ass Buddhist priests, meditating and get prophecy. You can't go to any of these books. You can go to the biggest libraries throughout the United States, man. You go to Alexandria, Egypt. You can fly all the way to Egypt and go through them books. They ain't got no prophecy in them, man. So prophecy is readily available to a house near you. The book of prophecy is all throughout every so-called Black, Latino, and Native American household. But they don't understand prophecy because you have to be taught by prophets.
Well, it was a little bit more on that Luke 45. It says, then he opened, this is one more. It says, then he opened their understanding.
Then he opened their understanding.
That they might understand the scriptures.
See?
Yep. And that proves that it's from the Heavenly Father, man. Mm-hmm. You know, because it says, surely the Lord will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets. You know, so that goes to show you that this is something that's divine, that's given to you. That, you know, the Holy Spirit is not just, you know, distributed amongst all men. It's not just a common thing, man. You know, the Lord got to be dealing with you. Got to be supping with you.
The Lord got to be supping with you. And that's the Spirit. I was thinking about the same thing. Really, and how does the Lord sup with you? Because he got angels that sup with you to give you this understanding. Now, it's written in Isaiah the 6th chapter, the 9th verse, how you have literal angels that blind the minds of the masses of these people. So the Lord is either, you know, on your side to keep you blinded or revealed. That's why he said that, being revealed, the Lord will do nothing save basically revealing his secrets to the servant of the prophet. The word reveal reads back in the veil. All right, that's the cover. The lies, the deception, the trickery, the witchcraft. Esau did a number on the minds of us, man. But through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah really exercising a miracle, he let us understand this word. And majority of people can't get it. You know, your grandma can't get it. You know, some brothers, you know, it's I'll say a rare phenomenon where your grandparents might, you know, come to the understanding. But the general cusp of us as a people, your grandma can't get it, grandpa can't get it, majority of your kids can't embrace it. You know, that's why we know that we really carrying this prophecy on our back, man. Right. You know, and really have to you know, be in the centerfold of this prophecy. You can't veer away from it because you're not giving it to everybody. This is a gift directly from Yahweh Shem Yahushua through the Holy Spirit, supping with us through that comforter, man.
Even the name.
Even the name.
You know, and like the scriptures say, and the rest were blinded. For you it is given to know the understandings of the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. And it says, and the rest were blinded. You know, so that's exclusive. The Lord is only really dealing with you. I remember the apostle said that a while ago. You know, you know, this ain't for your like you said, your family members to get. It's not for your auntie, your uncle, and everybody to get. Your mom, you know, because they ain't gonna understand it. You know, they might overhear you watching videos and be like, what the hell is he into?
Yeah.
You know.
That's right. It's not for them to understand, and that's why we deal with you know, when you're dealing with family members, you know, or your woman or kids, we dilute the prophecies to a certain level, man. You know, like, hey, just believe that the Lord is coming back. Yeah, when the world called Jesus Christ his real name, Yahweh Shah, he's going to return and deliver our people because we suffer. But we know it's so much more in these prophecies. Like, women going to get badged. A lot of these Edomites are going into slavery, hardcore slavery. You know, we get into the ugly of things. And a lot of people don't have the stomach because in Revelation, the 10th chapter, the Lord told John to digest this prophecy, man. Let it be in your mouth. A lot of people don't have the stomach to retain these prophecies, man.
Oh, well, Isaiah 30 says, speak unto us smooth things. You know, so they said, prophesy not unto us right things, because like you said, the right things that we're telling you, the truth is that Jacob's trouble is coming. Bad, evil times that the world has never seen before. Unprecedented times are coming. And that's the ugly truth. But you know, what you want to hear is comfort. You want to hear, you know, that
I can come back and say,
you want to hear that more stimulus money is coming.
Yeah.
You know.
And they hypnotize off that Jesus juice, man. You got some.
Yeah, this is 2 Corinthians 4 and 3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. Verse 4. On whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Yahushua, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them.
Yeah, and that's why it's a major attack on truth right now, man. You know, we can't even use the word market, the whole word. Why? Because we see the prophecies and we're forewarning the people that it's going to be a massive chicken, that your enemy, Esau, being the so-called white man, is going to come down with great wrath. All right? When you warn people about prophecies that's going to come to pass, in turn, you start to prepare. It's written in Sirach, the 30th chapter, the 3rd verse, he that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy. The enemy doesn't want you in these prophecies, man. He doesn't want you to know that he's going to come down with great wrath. He doesn't want you to be hip with this NWO. That's why they're deleting pages that are phenomenal. It's crazy, you know, how many YouTube pages are constantly being deleted. You know, we have our personal chats, and I know, of course, many other brothers do. And it's always subscribe to this brother. His last page got deleted. It's like every other day thing at this point, man. You know, brothers always getting their pages clipped, and we don't even go into the so-called darkness of this world. You know, to the fullness. A lot, you know, we go into it in the truth sense, but you got people really doing it on YouTube. How to make lean, cooking crack, you know, all kind of drugs. Hell, you should cancel these fucking black women twerking. You know, that's demonic, man. That's worse than, you know, we just teaching the word. We just preaching the truth.
How it is.
You have a fucking group of women laying all on top of each other, kissing each other in the mouth for children to watch, man.
Oh, well, I did a lesson. I did a lesson on this. There was a 4-year-old fucking twerking in Times Square. You know, but yet, you know, that's okay. You know, you can leave that up. You know, and you know, people are praising it. Oh, on the video they said this is an example of confidence. You know, I want to have this level of confidence because a little 4-year-old white girl, 4 or 5-year-old white girl was you know, twerking. You know, that's America for this, America for you.
But when we cover the news of what's going on, and we give our 2 cents, you know, which a lot of people act like it doesn't matter, they cancel us. They strike your video out. You know, they make you go to I remember, I don't know if they still do it on YouTube, but they make you go to the little school and shit. You know, actually like a strike school, you have to sit down and you got to actually watch the video, then you got to answer the questions right. You know, they make you actually, you know, they treat you like you in fucking what's that in school when you
Attention.
Yeah, they put you in YouTube detention, man, just for preaching truth. What is it written in the book of Galatians? He said, I have therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth. The truth hurts. A lot of people do not like the truth. They would rather live a life of bliss and lies, man. Right. That's why you had that song, I forget who sung it. Yeah, tell me lies, tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. People love the sweet little lies of this life. That's the cares of this world, man. You know? You got it.
Yeah. This is Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach 39:1. It says, but he that giveth his mind to prophecy, to the law of the Most High.
Yeah, you got to give your mind to it. My mind has to be into it. Just like when you give something away, you can't ask for it back. You can't partially give it away. I'm gonna keep a little bit of my mind in it. Like you gotta be fully submerged. That's the word. When you submerge yourself in those living waters, you can't just have it. You can't have it from the neck up or waist deep. You gotta be fully in it. And the prophecies get deep. You know? So you gotta get deep into those prophecies, man. And like I said, as well as springing up, because it's always about watching as well as studying. You know, you can't just be always into prophecy. Prophecy. Nah, you gotta take a breather, watch what's going on, have a mental gauge, see what time you in. Because the scriptures say what? Measure the time. You can only measure the time by comparing what's going on in the book to comparing on in real life. Sometimes sitting back watching a movie, you know, seeing how certain things, talking about the informative movie, of course, seeing how certain things develop, then it gives you an inclination, like, I know how this thing is going to I know, this devil only has so many options on how he's going to really pull the plug, man. And basically, it gives us a heads up to have to drop on this devil, man.
Yeah.
You see? That's the importance of prophecy.
Yeah, it gives us the ability to figure out the maze. When you watch that movie, Maze Runner, basically, Babylon is like it's literally it's a maze, man. It's designed to really trap you up. Like everywhere you turn, it's folly and confusion and it'll destroy you. But we have figured out a way to well, that's why the scriptures say, "You shall know the truth shall make you free." We figured out a way through the spirit of and power of Yahweh Shem El Shai, basically to liberate us. We found our Savior.
That's it.
We found our deliverer, which is Yahweh Shai, that's what his name means.
Right. So this is likened unto like a glitch.
Mm-hmm.
This is the glitch of the matrix. So we're part of the glitch. We're an anomaly to the system. That's why it tells you in the book of Romans, the 12th chapter, to be not conformed. We don't walk after the formation that everybody else walks. It tells you that also Exodus, the 23rd chapter, following out a multitude to do evil. We see everybody going this way. Guess what? We go the opposite way.
Right.
Everybody's partying, bullshitting, drinking to their heart's content, living off of the folly of this world. We in the house of mourning, man. Getting into the prophecies of these books, getting into these breakdowns, going into the Greek, going into the Hebrew, going into these different lexicons, getting the full, because that's what the ancient prophets would do. That's really a man, to be honest. That's the essence of really being a man. You get with wise men, it's like a spiritual think tank, man. Or a mastermind group, and you start getting into the understanding, and you start cracking the codes, and you teach it, man. It's a spiritual, each one teach one, and that's what puts this devil on in the corner, man. Like, oh shit, these men are raising up like minded.
Figure it out.
Yeah, they're dealing with order. They're fully subscribing themselves up to the book, constantly reading, constantly studying. They're not being swayed by the bait, or by the distractions. These guys are truly in the prophets. These guys might be the prophets.
That's one reason why, which is all through the spirit. It's all through the spirit, but that's one reason you can say they haven't made their move, because they know what they're up against. In the end, if they do recognize that we're the prophets, then they recognize that we're dealing with power. They recognize that we can't just roll up on them. Yeah. We can't just roll up on them how we would roll up on some niggas.
They're being very considerate of their actions. Mm-hmm. You got it, bro.
Continuing on, I'm gonna start from the top. This is Ecclesiastes 39:1. It says, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients and be occupied in prophecy."
Yeah. If you want to say anything, of course.
John, as the brothers were going into very eloquently, if you look at what everything that's going on in the world right now, you'll see we're living in prophetic times. So where should your mind be? The scriptures, it says, if you give your mind over to the Most High, you're going to be looking at the prophecies, looking at the world, looking at the prophecies, looking at the world, and you're going to have a gauge of exactly where we are, And that right there is going to dictate how you behave in this world right now. Because you're going to know Yahweh Shem El Shai is going to be on your ass, if you don't do. This is a clear indication of where we are and that the Lord is in complete control.
That's it. That's it. 1 Timothy 4:13. "Till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine."
Right. So this is Timothy. Paul writing unto Timothy, and he said, "Till I come, give exhortation to reading." That's why you got to read. Scripture speak about that in Revelation, the 1st chapter. Blessed is he that readeth. You can't have a book of prophecy and not read it. And this thing ain't just taking things from face value. The apostles do their lessons, they do their transits, their impromptus, and things of that nature. But you don't just take it and don't go into the book yourself. That's a parrot. Apostle Gabar did a lesson years ago about the different degrees of spiritual men, and the bottom ones was a parrot and a monkey, man. You have that saying, monkey see, monkey do, and a parrot parrot just is good at mocking.
It doesn't have an intellect.
It doesn't have the intellect to retain what you're saying and actually commune with you, you know, in the same, you know, having a proper exchange. A parrot ain't gonna have a proper exchange with you, man. They're designed to just repeat, and you don't want to be a parrot. You want to go up the spiritual ladder. It speaks about Apostle Bar. You know, he was going to the highest form, which is really a dragon, or a serpent, and an owl. Those are the top animals. Those are apex, man.
Funny.
Very cunning. The owl has that 360-degree vision. They can see at night. They have very, very keen senses, man. Same thing with the snake. Scriptures speak about that in the book of Matthew. To be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. You know, snakes know how to move, man.
If I'm not mistaken, they're called tertiary consumers.
Yeah.
Which basically they're at the top of their food chain.
Yeah.
You know, ain't nobody really taking down owls. As far as, you know, in the animal.
Ain't nothing like an owl or a hawk. You know, those are apex, man. So you want to be at the apex of yourself, so to speak. You don't want to just take things from face value, because it's written in the book of Acts. What is that? With the church of Berea. They would hear the words that Paul and the disciples and the prophets would speak, and they would go back to the bunker, so to speak, and investigate. And they ain't no telling how long those men were studying to those words. They try to deliberate, make sure, you know, everything is accurate. Going to the, you know, make sure that everything is everything, because they were serious about those prophecies, and that's why they were known as more noble. The word noble means to basically have the inclination to really figure out what to know.
Yeah.
You got that?
Yeah, I keep going. It says,
yeah, because everything ain't about just cussing the white man out, man. That's the easiest thing to do. We could get on the streets and, hey, you fucking devil, man. Look, man.
If I can make a point on dealing with the owl and the serpent being at the top, you know, us that's in the spirit, we're at the top of the chain as far as knowledge and understanding goes. You know, that's why, you know, one thing that I've noticed amongst brothers, and one thing that I know that proves that this is the truth, is that when have brothers ever been taken down in a debate? When have brothers ever lost a debate, or you know, damn, well, that person came up and confounded the brothers? Nah, that's never happened, man. Not in Great Millstone. At least I haven't seen. You know,
just to add, because that's part of the prophecy. It's written in the prophecy. If the brother could,
I'll give you a tongue.
That's it.
Yeah.
The Lord gave us. The Lord told us that in the prophecy, and that has been proven. And the crazy thing about it is, I haven't seen IUIC. Well, you know what? ISUPK, they get chunked a lot from Sinetta, man.
Right. Yeah.
You know, they get cut. You know, Sakari, he got cut by Polite. A lot of those guys really do be trying to challenge certain individuals, and they be so off with the doctrine. It ain't talking about them. I was trying to give them a pass, like, you know what? Even in the spirit, they don't get. This really talking about us, man. Starting out with the apostles on down. Never lost a so-called spiritual exchange. Never been in a corner where it's scratching their head and don't have any type of a true rebuttal, for lack of a better term. Right. You know, because at the end of the day, we're not a so-called debate club. Apostle Barb made a video. We ain't on debate club, but we know this word, man. When you try to challenge us with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you're gonna get hit over the head with these prophecies. And that's what we do when a scoffer comes. We just flush him out with scriptures. He got his point, you know, whether he's in Catholicism, you know, or he's just in Babylon, you know, he's just a Babylonian. We just drown him out with the prophecy. Like we just bomb him with the scriptures. And what happened? You can tell they get overwhelmed. They either gonna try to outshout us, you know, or they're gonna try to get carnal. Because when you can't deal on an intellectual field, the next thing your mind goes into
you can't fight.
Yeah. Now you want to fight. Your mind what's the word? I can't think of the right word. Yeah, basically divert. You know, defaults. And defaults to your fighting setting. Like, I can't be on that. Now, because they feel like they're in a corner. Now they got to defend themselves physically. But it's like, we ain't touching you. We just hitting you over the head with prophecies.
Resort to
slander, or call the cops. Ad hominem attacks.
That's why the scriptures say, scripture 2-edged sword, dividing asunder the soul and spirit. Yeah, because they're actually getting cut spiritually to the point but they don't know how to fight spiritually. They don't know how to defend themselves on a spiritual level. So they have to go to what? Carnal means.
Carnal route. Yep. Got that in the loop.
I got this one, Titus. This is Titus 1:9. Holding fast the faithful word as he have been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine, both to exhort and convince the gainsayer.
Hey, you going to it?
Yeah, so hey, we have to be the scriptures say we have to be apt to teach. So we have to be in the spirit of the scriptures say contending for the truth. So we can't just be out here like, oh, I don't know. We have to search these things, man. Like the brothers are going into. We can't be a parrot and then just watch the videos and just regurgitate what the apostles say. You know, we have to seek out these things for our understanding. So at the end of the day, this is for the elect. We're fishing for the elect. There's different mechanisms of fishing, man. It is, you know. So you have to be able to convince the gainsayers. Some of these people that are actually scoffers, they're actually going to start coming in.
Yeah, and it's because they understand. You know, they might not fully understand it. You know, but they hear what we say and they see how bold we're standing. They see the confidence we're coming with. And as they see prophecy come down the pipeline, it's written like you just said in Psalms 110th chapter, the 3rd verse, that many shall be willing in that day, man. All right? So just like you, being apt to teach. The scriptures speak about that, you know, being always ready to give an answer.
I got that right here.
You said, oh, you got that with the app?
Yeah,
okay, what about that? Okay, fine.
This is 1 Peter 3 and 15. It says, but sanctify the Lord in your hearts and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason of hope that is in you with meekness and fear.
Yeah, so you got to be always ready to give an answer. What is Babylon the Great? Where is Babylon the Great? How is America Babylon the Great? You know, who is Esau? Where is Esau today? All right? Who is Amalek? Can you break down the Ishmaelites for me? You know? Are we Africans? We've had all these questions, man. You know? Who are the Israelites? Break down the 12 tribes chart. Break down the 18 nations. You know, what's Yahushua born a virgin? These are a lot of, you know, the amount of questions is very, very vast. But when you understand the fullness of this book, you can answer all these things, man. Easily. It shouldn't be a scratch in the head. You know, when I got to go back to study on how we are Israelites. What? You're supposed to be, and the scriptures speak about being persuaded in your own mind. When you come into this thing, you know, that's some of the first things you got to get into. You know, am I truly an Israelite? You know, I got to really be persuaded in my own mind to understand that I'm an Israelite before I really get into dealing with these. Before really getting into really your true heritage. You got to really study. You got to really know, like, you know what? I studied it. I know about Judah, man. I see the prophecy going into Genesis, the 49th chapter, Deuteronomy, the 33rd chapter, you know, the prophecy in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, Lamentations. I'm an Israelite, man. And there ain't no telling it. That's why when certain people come and they try to challenge us, they bow down to it. They succumb to the wisdom, you know, because this the word. This is a brick wall, man. It's likened unto a brazen wall. You got
Just a little bit more.
Okay, a little bit more.
Yeah, see, you know, as far as like you said, people that challenge us, they could not agree all day, but what they can't say is we don't know what we're talking about. So, you know, got it.
God, this is verse 16. It says, having a good conscience, that whereas they speak evil of you as evildoers,
Right.
they may be ashamed and falsely accuse your good conversation in Yahushua HaMashiach.
Right, so this represents the good conversation of Yahushua Mashiach. Let's get together, fellowshipping, going through the word. And people going to speak evil of it, that's fine. It's written. It's written in the prophecy. You don't get, see, when you come into the truth, you get, you know, in your younger years, like myself, when I first came in, you get a little agitated with family members. People ain't getting it, man. You know, you try to go around, because what, you're dealing with the honey. It speaks about when you first come into this truth, it becomes sweet. It's very, very sweet to the taste. And you get very excited. You know, you want to preach it to you know, family, friends, anybody that's a close companion. And then you start to see the rejection rate you get. You're like, God damn. You know, these people don't, you know, react to the word like I thought of it. Like, I found out the mysteries. Like, people love mysteries, you know. You would think that they want to hear the mystery of the book that everybody so loves and embraces.
You want to share it.
You know, you want to share it. But then you start going through those bitter phases, man. You know, then you start to realize, well, it's written. You got to respect the prophecy. You know, sometimes you know when you're younger years, you're a little emotional.
Yeah.
You know, your emotions be tweaked up. But then you start to, you know, you dial down. You're like, you know what? It's not for them to get. This is like we just said originally. This is a gift the Lord did to me, you know, through the Spirit, and I appreciate it. And showing my appreciation, I'm gonna go and search, you know, through these street corners, through the Spirit of power, via the internet, however, you know, through the Urim and the Thummim, or the unicorn, so to speak, to find like-minded men that understand this, you know. And we've seen this thing develop. The apostles, they, you know, done this thing years without producing fruit, you know. Well, it was like, damn, you know. But they kept going, and you had that boom, man. You had a major boom where men started to come up. Now, you know, damn near it's a household thing. Everybody, you know, mom, woman, children, you know, a lot of people know they're Israelites. A lot of these rappers starting to say that they Israelites, and singers, musicians. Being an Israelite is a household thing now, man. But that came from starting off with our apostles and elders pushing his word. Whether it was a low amount of fruit or whether it was a high amount of fruit, they stayed and remained in the prophecy. So we got to be in that same mindset. Stay and remain in this thing, man. Whether this devil comes down trying to push us away from this book, push us away from the understanding, whether your family try to sell you out, you got to stay in the nucleus. This is the nucleus.
Right.
And when you win it, nothing can pull you out your square. They can try to seduce you to leave it, but Esau can't take this prophecy away from us, man. No. Yep, you got a little bit more?
I got
it?
more.
Okay.
This is 14. Neglect not the gift that is in thee. You just said that. It's a gift. And it says, which
and a gift neglected is worthless. It doesn't have a worth to it. If you have an object that can change the world, and you hide it under your bed, that's even in the prophecy. You know, the man that had a talent, and you hide it, what's the use of it?
Yeah.
That's it's useless.
When you look at people like that are super talented, like Jakes that's super talented. You got a lot of Jakes that's like that were like that, like high school. You know, they were number one draft, number one prospects, and you know they basically have immense amount of talent, but then they wasted smoking weed or you know they get influenced by the wrong crowd, and next thing you know, they've completely neglected their gift.
Yep.
You know, and that's like you said, that's a waste of a person. It's like, damn, you know, here it is, the Lord gave you all these talents basically for nothing.
Yeah.
For you to just, you know what I'm saying, just sit on your fucking couch, man.
Yeah, being a fucking armchair, you know, Negro. And you got a lot of Jakes that's like that, man. They just neglect the prophecy. They'll hear the prophecy, they'll understand it, you know, to a certain level, but they don't act on it. And then they wonder why the Lord stopped dealing with them. They wonder why their zeal, you know, starts to diminish because they're not trained in talent.
Right.
This is a network, man. You know, just like when, you know, you have a network body of men. Whenever you isolate yourself and you don't exchange your gift with the crowd, you no longer you really cut yourself off. It's like burning bridges, and you can't get what these individuals have because it's exchange, man. Like right now, what we're doing, this is a synergy, man. It's synchronized energy. This brother's bringing this out. This brother's bringing this out. It's not this on camera. You know what I'm saying? That's how the Lord works. It's not a one-man show. All right? So that's what the Lord is raising up. It tells you that in the book of Zephaniah. Gather yourself together. The Lord is gathering a nation. This isn't a thing where you just be on the background, like I'm gonna just wait for, you know, when things pop out, I'm gonna let these men handle it. You know, it seems like they got the spirit, it seems like they got the mindset to be on. They got the discipline to be out on Saturday. I can't carry the weight. Yeah, I let me carry the customer. Like, when things go down, they definitely gonna sit around, you know, doing my thing. It don't work like that, man. It starts now.
The scriptures say, work out your own salvation.
Work out your own salvation.
You know, like, you know, men, you know, each and every one of us, we have to carry our own weight and you know, be able to all be leaders, man, because hey, we don't know what type of scenario that we're gonna be placed in the time of trouble, man.
Right.
You know, brothers may be by themselves, brothers may be, you know, you might just have one brother with you or whatever. You may have hundreds, if not thousands of people following you. So it's like, you know, you have to, you know, carry your own weight as a leader, you know, because we're together now, and it's like the brother's saying, it's easy to just, you know, when you have a body of men, it's easy. Like when you look at a boat, right? When you look at a rowboat or whatever, you have multiple people rowing. Let's say it's 5 people on the boat, 6 people or whatever. One person not rowing, okay, no big deal. Or you know, you still moving. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, okay, now, you know, if everyone had that mindset, like, oh well, you know what I'm saying? Well, then the boat wouldn't go nowhere.
Hey, that's a beautiful analogy point that you use. Like if you look at people that do canoeing, or like you said, boating. If it's 4 individuals and they got both, you know, each corner, you got one man that's not pulling his weight. That's dead weight. Because first off, your weight is holding the boat down.
So they're working harder.
So now these 3 men got to work that much harder to keep up when you could be pulling your weight, and it's all about momentum.
Yeah.
You know, that's why the Lord pushes a lot of guys out that's not doing work, man. This is a work program, you know, spiritual work program, man. And it's truth. You got to be putting in some type of work, some type of field of action. This is a prime example. Hitting these streets, getting with brothers, fellowshipping, reading, breaking, you know, getting into these breakdowns. There's a lot of breakdowns. There's a lot of stuff that you could get a full, you know, grasp on pertaining to this book. You know, we haven't completed prophecy. We're still living in it. And we got to fully, you know, we always have to go back into these things, man.
Yeah.
You know, research it. You know? But let me get a few more and I'm going to switch out with a brother.
It says, meditate upon these things, give thyself wholly to them.
That's beautiful. Meditate. Meditating is a very, very important piece to your walk. Taking a step, like I said, it's always you always got to take a step back and breathe. You know, think, ponder. You know, get certain things. Let prophecy and let this understanding rest within you. Knowing how to move, like it says, knowing the time. It's high time to awake out of sleep. When you know the time, you re-register like, should I be moving out here, man? I can't be moving like I got fucking all day to be playing around. I can't be playing like Jake, man. You know, in this club and this club, wait for this. It's all a waste of time, man. The scriptures speak about buying your time back. We don't borrow time, you know. This devil finna move, and when he hits the ground, he's gonna hit the ground running. And we understand how this man moves. He puts all this stuff to just keep us off our track, man. All these fucking video games, there's always some new, and the concept gets old, man. He's a one-trick pony.
Right.
You know, he's always recreating the same video games. You know, a lot of these movies are outdated. He just keep re-updating them with new, you know, cinematics and graphics, whatever.
It's always some new social media challenge.
There's always some new social media challenge. They got people on the frenzy. You know, now everybody want to prop their phone up and do the fucking bullshit. You know, a lot of jakes get caught up in that shit, man. That's why the Bishop Hill was saying you gotta sometimes detox from that shit, man. Because it don't amount to nothing. And you find yourself scrolling, or you scrolling 30, 45 minutes, and you put your phone down, your battery went dead. You're like, what the hell did I just look at? You just looked at a whole bunch of nothing. Yeah, you saw like, yeah, got it. And then one day, and then the next thing a week, you know, put 9-10 hours into nothing, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's why you gotta keep your head out of this. You gotta keep your head in the game, man. That's for myself. You know, all of us. We gotta keep our head into these problems. You got that.
It says that profiting may appear to all.
Yeah.
Say,
so when you get into the prophecy, just seeing, like, man, this brother, he gets into the book. You know what I mean? He's not always in his hand. He's not always the guy, you know, face of the city. You know, or just that nigga in the street. You don't want to be that, man. You want to be known as like, you know what, that man, he lives a moderate life. He's not, you know, extreme socialite. You know, he gets into the book. You know, of course, everybody has their own day-to-day activities. Some brothers are in environments that cause them to be more social than others. But you're not going out your way to be the man of the South, man. You ain't trying to keep the T.I. title You know, be the king of the South.
Right.
You know, the king of Georgia. You know, and you're trying to live up to that title. You're trying to take pictures with the baddest. You know, you're trying to pop bottles with the best of them. The Lord ain't dealing with that spirit. You got to be living a moderate lifestyle, and really, if you want to be extreme in anything, you want to be extremely devoted to this book, man. You know, devoted to this understanding. Now, of course, you have your side hobbies. You know, you have your, you in the flesh. You know, you might have your rib, you might have your two or whatnot. You got women, children. You got, your hobbies and stuff. You might draw, you might paint, you might play basketball in your downtime. That's fine. You know, but when it comes to really this fucking high-powered vacuum of this world, that's trying to suck you away through the lust of your flesh, you gotta chop that off, man. You gotta watch that, man. Because the more that you tap into this world, the more that it taps into you. Mm-hmm. And then you find yourself losing yourself. That's why you gotta deal with, and like Apostle R said, knowing how to dance with this devil and not dance with the snake and not get bit, man. You know? Knowing when to time out, like, you know what? The world's starting to get, starting to pull. I gotta fall back from this stuff, man. Yeah. You got it.
It says,
and that's the way to give yourself hope. Because you gotta fully be, fully wholesome, wholly invested into this book. You can't be a partial, I got a little 20% of my, income in this book, but I got about 60 in the world. Nah, you gotta be fully in this, man. All our eggs are literally in this basket. You got
take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine. Continue in them, for in doing this thou shalt save both thyself and them that hear thee.
Right. So this word comes with empowerment, because you have the ability. You're no longer disabled by the ways of this world. You have the ability to save yourself and people that hear you. That's power. The Lord has gave us a level of power, and with that power, we have to develop it, build with it. Man, the Lord gave me this as a gift. This like you watch these different Greek mythology movies and stuff like that, and you'll see like Thor's hammer. That was a gift from the gods, Or you'll see certain trinkets or whatever, certain weapons that are like a Wonder Woman, or some of these superheroes got these certain weapons that come from the heavens. This is a gift from the heavens, man. This is the gift from the Most High Himself. So with this gift, we have to treat it as if it was a gift. This was given to me first and foremost. But with this gift, I show my appreciation by doing what was necessary for this gift to increase. I'm going to increase this gift, and I'm going to give this gift to others so that they can increase the gift. You said you want to say something? You got it.
Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord Yahweh, our power is one Lord. Verse 5. And thou shalt love the Lord Yahweh, thy power, with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might.
So it's about giving yourself fully into it, man. With all thy heart, with that mind and soul, with all thy might. And that might represents your strength. We're in our youthful age. The scriptures speak about having the scriptures speak about having strength in your youth. As a man in your youth, you should be getting into this wisdom, man. I seen the video with Judge Joe, and I posted it with brothers. And Judge Joe, it was a badass point. I ain't gonna lie. He was like, man, and what you should be doing. He was talking to Kwame Brown. He said you should be figuring everything about everything, man. Being like a supercomputer, really studying, figuring this stuff out. Because he's a judge, so he's all about, development, understanding. He loves wisdom. He's a man that is very, very devoted to understanding. He gets into psychology, he gets into all these different brain studies and stuff. But when he was talking to him, I was like, no, that's some true stuff, man. He said you should be knowing everything, trying to get into everything about everything, really learning this thing. He said because you start to know how to jack these jokers up, man. He was talking about these individuals that be coming against the platforms, that these guys be building. He said you know how to jack these jokers up, and you learn how to set booby traps, man. You get more, you know how to weaponize your wisdom, so to speak.
Right.
You know how to put certain things in place to see if somebody's playing you. And the scriptures speak about how wisdom is better than weapons of war. You start to know how to use your wisdom like a weapon, but you don't use it to corrupt or to manipulate. You use it to protect and to defend. This word is likened unto a shield. It's likened unto a sword. It's likened unto a warlike equipment in Ephesians the 6th chapter. But you don't use that to assault your brother. You use that to protect and defend your nation. That's what this thing is about. You got it. You got the last one. You got something you want to bring up?
Yeah, this is 2 Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
Right. So that's also written in the book where it said it's cut off in like 12 parts, I think. The world was cut off in like 12 parts.
Yeah.
That's it.
Second Ezra, the world is divided into 12 parts, and the 10th part of it has passed.
The 10th part. And we in the end of that's how you know we in the end. Then it can't get no more worse. We living in it's a reason why it's called Generation Z. See? The food, it can't get any more jacked up, which is that we're still trying to jack it up. You know? The guys can't get no more gayer, but they managing. Everything I'm trying to say to top it off, it is still going up.
Yeah.
But we're at the end. That's the point of the matter.
Yeah.
We see clear as day, we are at the end. We're living in a culture where men and women don't even really get it. They don't get along. There's really not no type of true relationships. This is the end. We're in the last days. You got
If I can say
the last hours.
one thing, a candle always burns its brightest when it's about to go out. You know?
See?
So he said, they can't top it. Well, they about to fizzle out. That's it.
Trying to fizzle out. And see, it's a new kingdom that's on the rise. And it's starting right now. The scripture speak about don't look, you ain't gotta go South America, we're gonna find a new kingdom on. Nah. It tells you that in the book of Luke. You don't look low here or low there. It says it starts within. We're building, and it starts with the mindset. You see? Where the kingdom goes into the house of the king. The house of the king starts with his mind, man. You can't run a kingdom physically if you ain't got the right mindset. So the Lord is, the Lord working on our heads, man. That's why you gotta, in your downtime, you should be your own building project. You should really be into yourself, to be honest. You got a lot of people that's depressed. They see that, they don't get a lot of likes on social media, so that throws off their perception of who they really are. Now they want to, go to the gun store and turn their own TV off and shit, man. F all that, man. You should be really like, hey, you know what? I'm about to build, I'm building my people. I'm building myself up, man. You got to be into yourself, man. I got to tweak, I got to fine-tune myself. Got to groom myself, make sure that I'm on point with these words, work on my health, work on my, physical fitness, work on my mindset, just develop. That's what the word develop, I think, goes into like unraveling. Because it's the opposite of enveloping. Like an envelope is something that's closed. But when you develop, you start to, bring out the true divinity of oneself. That's part of that education, educating yourself, growing in this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's a little bit more on that.
Verse 3. 2 Ezra 9:3. Therefore, when thou shalt be seeing earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world,
and we seeing this going on. I just posted today, Australia, they're going through a rat crisis. Wow. And it's killing off all the crops, and it said it's leading people into cannibalism, man. So we're seeing natural disasters on a divine level. A lot of these different cities being knocked down by whether tsunamis or earthquakes, typhoons, and things of that nature. It's all kind of tornadoes. Natural disasters never stop. You go on the internet and see what's going on. What happened this month, what happened this week. So we see that these prophecies are coming to pass, and they're coming to pass on a major level. Because it said in the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter, that it's earthquakes in diverse places, certain places that you wouldn't even think, you would have that type of seismic activity. Keep on.
Last verse 4. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning.
So it puts you in a mindset like, damn, I understand exactly what time we live in. This devil can't never pull the veil back over our head and make us disbelieve in this book when we're seeing it played out. It's like literally, this book is like a cassette tape, man. This book is like a cassette tape, and we see it playing out literally. And we just looking around, that's the beauty of prophecy. The more prophecies you get into it, you start to see it actually taking place on a physical plane, man. You see why your woman, why the black woman is so bugged out. You see why these niggas so bugged out. You see why Esau moved. You understand the scripture says that the reasonings of men. You understand why this world is so jacked up. You start to understand. The scripture says you will understand all things. You start to understand everything, man. We're gonna get that last one, and I'm gonna switch to the brother. You was done with that?
Yeah.
Oh, you was done with that? You had yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna switch to the brother.
Let's get Romans 13:11. Yes. So just continuing the brother spirit, as he was beautifully bringing out, which is, hey, we're in them times, man. We're in them times where, basically, our mind should be heavily involved with prophecy, with, like we brought out, meditating on these things, being sober-minded. That's what the scriptures say, being sober-minded, and even amongst myself, this is the spirit that bros should be in, So let's get that Romans 13, and then get also get go ahead.
This is Romans 13:11, and it reads, "And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed."
Yeah, because the brother even quoted it. Now is high time to wake out of sleep. All right. So we know that a flood is getting ready to come. We know that a lot of people, the Lord is going to start working on a lot more people's minds. Once the famine of the word, once He takes away the understanding, takes away the videos off of YouTube. All right. Once another pandemic or another catastrophe or shortages come of some sort, once all these things happen, that's going to cause a lot more people to question and wake up. So that's what it means by what did you say again? High time to wake out of sleep. Go ahead.
This is Romans 13:11. It says, "And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep."
Yeah, we saw that. We saw a glimpse of that during quarantine time. A lot of jakes were getting more into herbs and getting more into, exposing the C19. All right, a lot more people were getting into, just information. A lot of alternative information than what Esau was putting out there. And we saw a glimpse of that. But guess what? All those people, majority of those people that had got into that information, they got rocked back to sleep. As soon as Esau put back the NBA on television, as soon as he started to open back up and ease up on restrictions as far as masks, going out, and all these different mandates, and now you got this place back open, bars back open. That caused people to basically go back into a state of delusion and sleep. All right, but guess what? Once something happens again, you're gonna have that happen even more on a more rapid and wide scale. Go ahead.
Continuing on, it says, "For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed."
Yeah, and it's near, man, because hey, when we first, when I say before we even woke up to this truth and that the fact that we were Israelites and end time prophecy, all right, we didn't none of us even thought that this was the end of the world. I mean, you may have had some brothers that kind of before they really got into it, they kind of knew that it was the end. They kind of had that sense, but ultimately, it's nearer than we ever would have thought, man. Because hey, this summer it could go down. It could go down this summer. It could go down within this year, 2021, which is the year of hastening of the Lord, hastening of the coming of our Lord. All right, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, so it could very well happen this year. It could happen next year. But we know, through signs and through like the brother was going into prophecy, we know the times. The prophecy gives us a good indication of the times that we're living in, and we know we can say confidently that this place ain't gonna go on another 100 years, another 50 years. You know, it can't.
It ain't got it.
You know, go ahead.
Romans 13 and 12. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light.
Right. So yeah, we gotta put on the armor of light and cast off the works of darkness, which, like the brother said, we gotta remove those dark ways about ourselves. We can't move in darkness like the rest of the people.
Right.
You know, the spirit is starting to bring out or push us really separating ourselves from the world. Okay, you know, abstinence. All right, which abstinence basically means was the same thing as temperance, which is basically doing away with certain things. You know, separating. That's what the word holy means. Holy meaning separate. So you're actually consecrating yourself from those that are unclean. And these people are filthy, man.
Yeah,
They're full of sins.
The doctor said,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful point that you have put. Because when darkness and light come in contact, one usually eclipses the next. In most cases, you know, depending on how dark certain things is, of course the light will still shine, but it can be smothered. You know, you wanna be around. If you're in the light, you want to be around people that's of the light.
Yeah.
Light complements light.
Right.
Darkness does not complement light. It works, you know, it works in against it, so to speak.
Right. Yeah, and going into putting clean things. Well, first of all, you don't put your clean clothes with your dirty clothes. You know, you take your clothes out the wash, and you get a whole separate hamper for those clothes. You know, so same thing with even that even goes into the idea of quarantining. All right, what's the idea of quarantining? Is taking those that are sick and diseased and separating them from the rest of the population. All right, so it's a simple concept, and we have to be in that same mindset of really separating ourselves. You know, and brothers do. You know, but it's gonna be even more so. The more and brothers been bringing out. You know, we're in some. These past few weeks and months have been very heavily demonic. You know, the energy out here in this world has been heavily, these vibrations are heavy, man. You know, you got more on that?
Two more verses. Yeah. Romans 13 and 13. Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying, but put ye on the Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, and make no provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof.
Right, and it says, walk not in wantonness, which wanton means having wandering eyes. You know, and it says, walk not in what?
And not in rioting and drunkenness.
Rioting and drunkenness. You know, and these people are spiritually drunk. What does that mean? That they are just, going with the flow in the world. You know, they don't have a hold over their spirit. They don't have that discipline, like the brother said, to be able to control their spirit and to get into the prophecies of the Lord. Okay, they don't have that mindset. Okay, to really focus in on the times that we're living in.
Yeah, they deal with the pressures of the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they deal with the pressures of their job. They deal with the pressures of their family. They deal with the pressures of their family. Their parents and things of that nature.
Right.
You know, they deal with the pressures of their peers. So they don't have, it really sucks to tell you that. Brother Nathaniel was reading Surah 39 with the prophecy. The 38th chapter goes into how certain people can't even get into the book because they're too occupied with the bullshit of this world, man.
Yeah.
Always building something that they ain't benefit from. Yeah, I gotta build this, I gotta paint that, it's always something that they gotta do in the world.
Yeah. We'll get this, go ahead.
This is 2 Timothy 2 and 4. It says, no man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life.
Yeah, no man that warreth entangleth himself in the affairs of this life. And like the brother brought out, affairs of this life such as, birthdays, the holidays, because it's always something new. It's always a cycle, of bullshit, man. All these holidays, all right, so and so we're gonna do this year. You got all these different traditions and you know, all these different cares of this world, man. Concerts and, you know, it's always, when you're in the world, there's always something to do. There's never a shortage of entertainment, you know. People always got, you know, all right, well, I'm looking forward to this date. I got this going on. I got that. But guess what? That's all your own personal bullshit, man, that you occupy yourself with. But we occupying the prophecy, which is not of ourselves. This is the Lord's program. You know, that's why it's a sacrifice, because you're actually putting your personal wants and your own personal. Because I ain't gonna lie, you know, we've been wanting to, you know, of course, if we weren't in this captivity and you know, and we weren't you know, in these conditions, well, that's why I want the kingdom so bad. We wanted to just kick it, you know. We just want to relax, you know, do certain things, you know, just ease our mind and just relax. But guess what? Like you said, this is a work-based thing, man. So we're not in the time. That's why Micah 2:10 it says, "Behold, this is not your rest." Yeah, you get it. Yeah, go ahead, get it.
This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. It says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction."
Yeah, and it shall destroy you. You know, and you know, none of us are above this world to where you know, we can't be taking out the truth.
Right.
You know, and it says it shall destroy you. You know, this is not our rest.
We seen it get the best of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh yeah, we've seen it get the best of. You know, men that's been around for 10 plus years, and you know, be able to pull scriptures out like this. But that's why Yahweh Shem Shai gives examples so that we can keep that fear. All right, so that we can keep that edge, like the Bishop of Tazwalam said. That edge, basically meaning, you know, always, you know, always on your toes, man. Always on your P's and Q's. You know, always basically on like he said, the edge of that cliff, man. You know, because comfort is really the enemy, really, and that's why we always bring out that you're warring against yourself. Because, hey, it said, no man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life. Now, I just brought out that the affairs of this life are personal things that you want to do. Mm-hmm. All right? Personal goals and aspirations and all these different things, those are affairs. The affairs of this life are not just, you know, things other people. No, that's what you want to do. So that's why you can entangle yourself with your own bullshit. You know? Keep going. Was there more on that?
Another word, like when you think about affair, I was thinking about like when women women have a affair, so they'll step out of their relationship and do, like you said, do something they want to do. That wasn't contracted in a marriage, and that's why we know that Esau's judges and his whole system is corrupt, because when women and men marry, they're supposed to go off of, you know, their vows. But when you have an affair, you basically broke the, you disannulled the contract, so to speak. Yeah. But I say all that just to say, like, you know, for an example, you can't be having affairs outside of this work. You know, now, like I said, you do certain things in your downtime, but tapping into other gods, tapping into certain things that ain't got nothing to do with the spirit, and always into that more than, but this is known as a woman, man. You went to the strange woman more than you went to the spiritual woman. It's gonna take you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, keep going.
It says that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier.
Yeah, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. All right, and really that's what it's all about, pleasing Yahweh Shem Shai. We ain't gotta please this fucking world, man. I mean, where's that gonna get you? All right, so let's say you please your job. You know, let's say you know all these different things in the world, carnal things that you do to please others. Where does that get you? All right, you please and kiss ass at your job. They ain't gonna, but then you don't work for them 10 plus years. They ain't give you no damn raise. They ain't gave you no type of extra benefits, and you know it amounts to nothing.
They make you work more.
If anything, they treat you worse. Yeah. You know, the more seniority that you get or whatever. You about to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like you get for being a good employee, you get treated worse. You know, I know that's firsthand. You get treated worse for being a good employee, coming to work on time, do what you're supposed to do. You act like, hey, this is what you're supposed to do. Yeah. But everybody else slacking off, coming in late,
They looking at you like, what you do?
Yeah. Yeah, so just further proving that when you try to please this world, it ain't people. You can't be a people pleaser, man.
Nah,
You know, you gotta do what benefits you, and what benefits you is seeking out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You know, benefit yourself by getting into, like we said, meditate wholly upon these things. You know, get into it. You know, and you know, be one of one mind. Okay, be goal driven, goal focused. Okay, you know, because like I said, we gotta please Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We wanna at the end of this course, and you know, we go in front of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We want him to tell us, you've done well, you faithful servant, man.
Yeah, because dealing with exactly what you said, pleasing the world, you know, it doesn't amount to nothing. Quick for yourself. Galatians 1:10. For do I now persuade men or the Most High? Or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of Yahushua. Yeah, so when you try to live your life just being, you know, Mr. Nice Guy, you see nice guys finish last, man. You grow up and educate yourself like that. It don't work like that, man. You're trying to save the fishes and, you know,
you wear yourself thin.
You stretch yourself thin because this world is not no pleasing. It's like a gaping hole.
Yeah.
It's like a sunken pit. Whatever you throw into it, it's gonna just drop it. It's gonna bottom. It's gonna go straight to the bottom, man. It's hollow.
Yeah.
These people have a hollow mindset. There ain't no pleasing them. And when you deal with somebody like that, you run for the hills, man. Because there's no fulfillment in that.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta. This is the true fulfillment. Pleasing, yeah. How about Shem Yahushua? Because this is where fulfillment really lies. Like, man, you know what? I did what was right. Like what Paul said. I finished my course.
Right.
You know, I stayed in the truth. I stayed down. I suffered for the word's sake. He said, "Now is a crown laid up for me, man. We want that crown. This is the only thing that you can please. You know, that you can, you know, serve and really get true fulfillment or true pleasure out on the back end. So everything else, you ain't gonna get it.
You ain't gonna get it because and the reason why is because anything that you build up here, let's say you do build up, you know, a level in the world, you build up this in the world, well, it's gonna get fucking burnt up. All these people, reputation, all these jakes in the world, celebrities, and all these they work hard to get all these reputation accolades, and you know, they went to school for 12 years, or you got people that, you know, they got all these #1 albums, and you know, they got Billboard, they got all these different you know, like you said, accolades.
Mm-hmm.
But it's gonna amount to nothing because what good is a damn like and you know what, that was a reality check to a lot of these sports players, because what good is the NBA if it ain't no damn sports being played? What good is your damn jump shot, you know, and all these different things when there's Esau done took all the rims off the court.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he done basically took your whole job away.
Right.
So here it is, you've spent your whole life, you've been playing in the gym, playing basketball, all these different things, you in the NBA, but now all of a sudden it's gone. So now what? You know, and that's why that's the #1 reason why you can't put all your eggs into one basket, which means you can't put all your energy into this world, because it can easily be stripped away. Everything is temporal. You know, that's why the scriptures say, lay up not for yourselves treasures on earth. Which treasures on earth can include accolades, can include different things, and you know, awards and all these different things. But you'll be sore disappointed, you know, once that's taken away. And it will be taken away. All right? It's guaranteed. I guarantee it. You got something? Garzo?
No.
Okay, what did I call? Get that Romans 12:2.
Okay. This is Romans chapter 12 and verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High.
Yeah, what's that word? Transform. Okay, because you basically form. We all know what that means, but trans meaning basically change. Okay, that's why you get the word, trans, you change gender, you change your gender. Now it says transform your mind. So transforming your mind basically goes into your behaviors, man. Your day to day, your how your thoughts, your habits, all these different things. But it says, be not conformed. What it say?
This is Romans 12:2. And be not conformed to this world.
Yeah, be not conformed to this world. And con means with. Yeah. So you can't be with the form of this world, because this world, we just read, this world will surely destroy you. So you don't want to be attached, because the scriptures also say, all them that are joined unto them shall be thrust through. So if you're joined unto this system, you're going to be very disappointed, because, like I said, you can spend all the time you want, trying to do this society. That's why us brothers here, it's beautiful for us when we get into certain things, because we're not going into it, like, oh, this is it. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, carnal things. We're like, look, man, if this thing don't pan out, all right, to hell with it. I still got the truth. I'm going, if I lose all my money, whatever business venture or whatever I get into, whatever, man. Because look, at the end of the day, I got salvation waiting for me, man.
It don't make you feel less of a man that you don't have the accomplishments of this quote unquote life.
Right.
Because we got the truth. That's what the Lord set us down here for. Even though we in hell, we in the valley of the shadow of death. This is the treasure chest, man.
Yeah.
Like, man, at the end of the day, I'm rich.
Yeah.
I got riches that the average man can't tap into.
Right. And that's what we were talking about last night, about how really it's just best not to even give a damn about money, man. Because this place is a damn rat race, man. And like we were talking about the maze, that's what a rat race is. It's just a maze. It's designed to basically just keep you turn here, oh, it's a wall. Turn here, oh, there's another wall. And there's really no. Esau made it to where, unless you have the spirit of Yah. Matter of fact, Esau made it to where there is no, like when you look at a maze, there's not even a exit. It's just a box. It's just a damn. It's a box.
You get dropped when you see the rat. They
get dropped in. But the only way you can get out, you gotta get abducted.
You gotta get abducted.
We gotta go up, man. That's the only way there, because there is literally no way out.
There is no way out.
Yahweh Shemel Shai has to literally just take us and bring us, take the chariots and bring us out of here, man.
It's a spiritual transformation.
Man. Yep. It's like, so, while we understand we're rats in the maze also, but you can do certain things, like you'll see a hamster, even though he's in captivity, he still get on that hamster wheel, get his water in, So in the same sense, it's like, you're going to do certain things while in hell. You can't let this place depress you.
Right.
You have to be active. It's like the horse and the carrot, have certain things that you might have, like goals, certain things to just build your mindset, build your spirit. But like you just said, at the end of the day, knowing you can't get out of this, knowing it don't matter how many women you sex, it don't matter how many cars you drive or driven or purchase, no matter how much money you get, all this shit amounts to nothing.
Oh, well, you put that clip of Mayweather in our group, and that was heavy, because he was like, look, I done did this, I done did that. He said, look, I'm focused on getting more wisdom. He said, because I'm getting older now, so it's like, now he's like, how can I add to myself, in so many words, that's basically what you're saying, like, wisdom. Here it is, this is Floyd Mayweather. He's the best boxer, arguably the best boxer in the sport.
He lived life.
He done been on private, he done did everything there is to do in this earth as far as a Jake. He's done, he's you name it, he's had it. But he gets to his 40s and 50s, and he's talking about wisdom. That's how you know that proves that wisdom is more valuable than all of these different things, man.
Same thing, like I said, too. A lot of these Jakes, they grow up, they start to develop, and they start, because when you get older, the flesh breaks down, and you see you can't really invest yourself with the pleasures that you used to, and the pleasures
you can't move like how you
can't move how you used to, and you see the pleasures, you already did the stuff, man. Going to TGI Fridays, it ain't the same as the first time.
Not excited.
You know what I'm saying? Or you go to these restaurants, ate it 1,000 times. Like, I done ate it. I done did it. I done drunk that liquor. I done had sex with these. I done did these things. It starts, like you said, it really gets to the point you like, man, it's about the wisdom. It's about the spirit of things. A lot of these jakes are tapping into that mindset. Like, look, all this shit don't really amount to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You got it, bro.
Yeah.
Just to add what you're saying.
Was that it on that? Come on, bro.
Romans 12:3. For I say through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as the Most High have dealt to every man the measure of faith.
Yeah, so number one, it says don't think higher than you ought to think. So don't think with a proud mind, conceited, yeah, like you said, conceited and just like I'm the shit, man. Hey, because really none of us, like I said, none of us are above this world. All of us can be taken out. That's why you gotta have further reasons why you gotta have that edge.
Yeah.
All right, because you can allow yourself, you can basically destroy yourself by getting comfortable, by constantly pleasing the flesh. If you do that and like you said, constantly getting into the folly, not doing your responsibilities, then hey, the Lord can find someone else to replace your lot, to replace your office. So that's why we're all in the position we all should be in a position to move further and push beyond and always like you said, don't occupy yourself with things. Occupy, but don't let it destroy you. Keep going. That was it, right? That was get that.
This is First Corinthians.
I just want to say the last little point, because in this world, a lot of people got a lot of spirits on them, and they look for means to escape. That's why a lot of these jakes, they can't get sober, because those spirits be messing with their head. You got to acknowledge your demons, man. You got to know how to beat these spirits down with the spirit power you have on shot. That's like, that's one of the heaviest levels of tapping into the so-called divinity of yourself. Know how to push these things out. Reasoning with yourself, not always living in the past, settling, seeing that you do have shortcomings, learning from your mistakes, repenting, and really, going on that straight narrow. Like, what? I can move and operate with a clear, mindset. Yeah. A lot of these jakes can't do it. They can't be sober for a day, for 2 days, because the demons hunt them, man.
Yeah, you have to have the ability to tell yourself no. Which can be very hard at times. Yeah. That's why Paul, he said basically the war of the mind. The flesh warring against the spirit. Mm-hmm. And how does that? Because your flesh is always tugging you to please the flesh. And it really is even a brain mechanism, because a lot of when you deal with addiction, which I always like to bring this out, when you deal with addiction, your neurons are always your body is always, your brain is always sending signals, to please, because whatever good feeling you got, you release dopamine. Yeah. And how it works is that your body knows that, okay, damn, this felt good. So your brain is going to push, is going to send signals to get that same feeling back again, over again, and over again. And then next thing you know, you're addicted. And next thing you know, you're wired to keep defaulting back to that particular action. All right, but you got to cut off those neurons and form new patterns. That's how the brain works, and that's that warring. That's when you can overcome the mind. Okay, that war of the flesh and the spirit. Okay, overcoming, like you said, overcoming those demons. Those are just demons. Those habits, bad habits, are demons, man.
Yeah.
You got it.
It's 1 Corinthians 7:31. And it says, and they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away.
Yeah, those that use this world as not abusing it, like the brother was saying about you still have to be active in this world. We're not saying just completely remove yourself and go in monk mode. You know, just go shave your head and just, you know, meditate all day. Because you still have to work, you still have to interact, still, you know, you still want to, because you'll bug yourself out, man.
Yeah.
You know, you look at certain, even Israelites that kind of first come in, you kind of think like, damn, you know, this guy is a little bit weird. You know, because you can actually remove yourself too much from the world to where you can
Turn into a space cadet.
yeah, you can be you know, a little bugged out. You anti-social. You know, you look at those jakes that lock themselves in the room, and you know they don't really have they don't really have that edge.
You're like, yo, man, what are you doing in there, man?
Yeah.
Hey, room for money, bro. Get out. And that's why parents were like that. Like, man, go be normal, man. Do what other kids do.
And my mom used to tell me that. My mom, man, I used to watch videos all day. She'd be like, man, go out, just go out, man. You know.
Parents trying to peep through the keyhole, like, yo, what you got? Doing the fucking rocket ship. All kind of shit going on in there. Like next to the laboratory, man. You can't be like that all day, man.
No, you can't.
And like I said, I was trying to get this quote.
You can be too introverted.
An extreme introvert.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it. It's in the Art of War where they're speaking about isolation. It's a beautiful point where he said it's written basically, don't over isolate yourself.
Right.
Because that matter of fact, that's in the 48 law of power.
Okay.
Look at it real fast. You can go ahead.
Yeah, we'll just read it again. Okay. We're gonna close up in a second.
I got it.
Okay, you got it. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
It says the world is dangerous and enemies are everywhere. Everyone has to protect themselves. A fortress seems the safest, but isolation exposes you to more dangers than it protects you from.
Right. And you know what? The dangers is that you're not sharpening your sword. You gotta deal with your day to day. You gotta be out in the world. You gotta deal with the elements. Like you look at think about, like you said, parenting, right? You don't help a child by sheltering them.
Right.
You want your child to interact in the world. You don't want them to just, of course you instill good morals and values into them. And you do keep them in the house for the most part, but you just can't completely shelter them. Them be the kids that be bugged out and be bad as hell, and they grow up and they go to college, and then they start getting doped up on a bunch of drugs because they didn't have any freedom. So now they get out there and they're like, they looking at the world like, whoa, you know what I'm saying?
Perception of the world is thrown off.
It's thrown off.
And they were living off of a device, and they were living off of the perception of social media.
Yeah.
That can be very hazardous.
It can be damaging.
Very damaging.
Yeah, because you're living in a virtual world.
Reality.
You're living in your own world, rather than the real world. That's why your teachers always said, when you get out into the real world, the real world, you gotta be in the real world. All right, you gotta deal with the elements, like you said. You gotta deal with this and deal with that, and you gotta get your heart broke. You gotta get flat tires. You gotta get beat up. You gotta get your ass beat.
That's what hard is. Take L's, man.
Yeah, that's what hard is.
Yeah. And we ain't saying in a sense like, all right, I'm about to go run up on this 6'7" niggas here, my ass whooped. No, I'm saying that the reality of, like, as an adolescent, I ain't really talking about the truth getting your ass whooped.
Right.
That's the thing you gotta go through, like I said. Heartbreaking. And sometimes get cheated on, man.
Growing pains.
Growing pains. You gotta experience an ain't shit bitch firsthand, man.
Right.
I ain't saying get you for one. Hey, go find you a chick.
Yeah.
And if you ain't experienced that, feel it, man. Because like you said, it deals with the brain. Because your mind starts to wire accordingly.
Right.
Your spirit is designed to try to survive. So, man, I gotta overcome this, man.
Well, you'll get defense mechanisms. Like, damn, you know what? I know, like, the same way that addiction works with things that please you. Your brain works in the opposite way with things that hurt you. Things that's how babies learn not to do certain things. Like, damn, you know what? I did that and I hit my head. you gotta bump your head so that you know how to move. Okay, I'm not gonna do that no more. Last time I did it, this happened, so and so and so. So it's learning, and Yahweh Shem Yahshua gave us that spirit to we done bumped our heads so many times. Now we found the truth, and now we actually are on the right path. We're on the path now. When we encounter tribulations, it's all growth. Right. It's not just to no avail. It's all. So read that again.
Last little point on this.
Oh yeah.
It says, but isolation exposes you to more dangers than it protects you from. It cuts you off from valuable information. It makes you conspicuous and impeached.
Damn. Yeah. Hey, because you look at you got the term street smart. So people that are sheltered, they're not street smart. So they don't know. That's why they always get scammed and swindled, because they don't know how to deal. You know, you're too protected. Okay, when you're too protected, you can't you don't learn survival. That's why the scriptures say be harmless as doves. I'm sorry. Harmless as wise as serpents, harmless as doves, man. In order to be wise as serpent, you gotta be out there, man.
So when you go through your daily endeavors, and you go through your certain traumas and the travesties of the world, that's what really makes a man out of you.
Right.
What's a man without stripes? You ain't got no type of gashes on you. Like, what you doing, man?
Yeah.
Like, you always in a room? You always just been locked in and cubicle? That's not, like you said, that's not really, that can destroy you, man. You can self-destruct like that.
Yeah.
You got to be in certain areas, knowing how to move and maneuver, knowing how to, take the load.
Base and abound.
Sometimes
a base and abound.
Base and abound. You might be around certain nigga environments. Now, we avoid these things, but the spirit sometimes have you, if you're doing Uber Eats, or you're doing certain ride shares, you encounter a lot of niggas, man. But you got to know how to talk to these niggas, too.
Oh, yeah. See?
So
gotta pull out that slang sometimes.
You gotta pull out that slang, know how to apologize when necessary, know how to move like a snake, like you said.
Yep. Go ahead and read that again.
1 Corinthians 7:31, and it says, and they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashions of this world passeth away.
Yeah, so the fashion of this world fadeth away. So us knowing that actually gives us a one-up above this world. Because we look, man, to hell with this shit. I'm in and out like the Matrix. They had to get in and out. They couldn't stay in that. They couldn't stay in that zone because they'll get destroyed. They knew that if they stayed, then the sentinels or the agents, they knew that the agents would get them.
And they were strong. The agents were strong as hell, man.
Mm-hmm.
Only one person could defeat. Because it was like demons.
Yeah.
Neo. He was the only one that could penetrate them, make them bleed. We can't beat these demons up, man. We can rebuke them, get them off of us for a certain time. But like you said, we can't.
Yeah, so we gotta be in and out. So, that was pretty much the point. Lord, really, you were edified. We're gonna end off by giving our praises to
Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushua Ba'Shem Kakadash.
All right, double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. And brothers, don't let this world, pull you down. Pull through your circumstances. We almost out of here. And a Bible ball.
Bible ball.
Shalom.
Shalom.